Hello ladies, so we are on week 1, which is Monday the 4th, and we are in October. So if you've never been with me before, these are the demo videos where I give you all the information. I'm going to go through every single workout in order on your workout sheet, every single exercise. I'm going to give you any modifications, how to make it harder, when you can add weight or you don't need it. Any substitutions, anything I can think of, I try to put in these videos so there's less talking back and forth outside of them if you're trying to work out and suddenly you realize you can't do something. So some of them are long. I also started a new format with my videos where I do a quick little demo of each exercise at the beginning. Then I go through and break it down, and that way if you've been with me before and you might recognize the name but don't remember the move, you can just watch the very first part of each clip and then you can start. You don't have to sit through the whole thing. If you have not been with me or you're not familiar with an exercise, then keep watching and then I'll break everything down for you and go over form and all that good stuff. So you don't have to know anything at all. This is where you're gonna get all your information. So again, I'm reading exactly off of your workout sheet, and if you haven't been with me in a few months, I have added, I don't have it on this one, but I have added a timers page, which eliminates me having to go over the timers in the videos as well. So there'll be a timer video I post one time as an announcement in the group, and then you'll have your timers page, which goes through word for word how to program the timer. So again, another way I'm just trying to eliminate some of the talking in the videos. Of course, this one is going to be long because I'm talking about all of this. So anytime you have any questions, please reach out and I will begin. So we are on Monday the 4th. We have our rounds, so that means you're just going to pick how many rounds you do. And then we have our Bulgarian split squats, pogo jump squat, and calf raise. So we have not done the Bulgarian in the program before, so I'm just going to quickly, show it, and then I'm going to give you a sub if you don't have something that you can use. I tried to avoid it because it's best done with a bench, which I know a lot of people don't have a bench. So I decided I was going to give it a go this time and use the chair, which my chair is a decent height, but that's the problem. It has to be a good height for your height, so that's why I kind of usually skip this one. But Bulgarian split squat, so you can do it with no weight or with weight. That's the one. You've probably seen it before. Your foot goes up and you just kind of go down like this. If again you don't have something you can use or it's not the proper height, like my bench height is actually too high for me, you can just do our regular split squat. So you're in the split stance, up and down, okay? Pogo jump squat, pogo jump squat, and our calf raises, which you've been with me before. I say every single time, I don't promote doing it on the floor, but I'm not going to wheel myself all the way to the stairs. And then part 2, mountain climbers. Okay, so as I was talking about before, the Bulgarian split squat I typically don't do in this program because you have to put your foot up, and again, you kind of need the right height. So I got my flat bench like a while ago, and I didn't realize, I guess it's like higher than normal. So when I go to do them on my bench, it's a little bit too high. This chair is actually a really good height for me. So you might not have something that works. So if you do have something that works, you can either hold a dumbbell in each hand or you can do it with no weight. And what you're doing is you're basically doing a split squat, but your back leg is lifted. So as you noticed, if you watched just now, in the second demo for split squats, like I said, if you don't have something that works, you're just on the ground and you're going up and down. So this is just elevating that back leg, which makes it that much harder because now there's even more weight on your single foot on the ground. So what you're looking to do, let me back up a little bit, is you want to put this foot down. Depending, sometimes I have to go up on my toe. Like this chair, it's a good height for me, so I'm fine. If the height is a little bit high, you might find you need like, I don't know, it feels more stable. You have like more grip when you're up on your toe. When you're like this, you're not really holding on to anything. So this chair, I can do this. This is ideally what you're supposed to do. If you can't and you need to dig in a little bit more, you're gonna go up on your toe. So you're gonna jump your foot out, and what you're looking to do is you're looking to get like a stance kind of like this. So you don't want to be super far out like this. That's too far. You want to make sure both legs are bending kind of similarly, but it's okay. So like I've been watching videos on this for a while now, and there's debate on whether you should be more upright or more leaned forward and how far your legs should be. And really the only difference is it's gonna target a different area. If you're closer together, you're gonna target more of your quads. If you're farther apart, you're gonna target more of your butt. So it's really, it doesn't really matter. As long as it feels okay to you, and like I said, as long as your leg's not way out in front, it's okay. So it should look something like this, okay? And again, you don't have to hold the weight if you don't want to, but basically this leg is doing all the work. So this back leg is just resting on the chair. So you're basically doing like a one-legged, movement here. And obviously if you could like move yourself and hold on to something, that's fine if you don't have very good balance. But again, you're kind of looking, and it might take you a minute to find the right spot. It's like, that feels good. So that took me a second, but sometimes you sit here, you jump your leg in, you jump your leg out, and it takes a little while. So again, if it's just not working for you, you do not have the balance, or you don't have the proper height, you're just gonna hit a regular split squat, which you just keep that stance and you bend up and down. So your back leg is on the toe, you have a decent amount of space between your feet, sink down into a lunge, up, sink down into a lunge, up. So the most important thing when you're talking about lunging is that your feet should be staggered and not stacked. So what I mean by that is I can see both of my feet. If my feet are stacked, I can't, you know what I mean? It's like a tightrope. You don't want to be on a tightrope. You want your feet to be staggered. You want your legs both to bend, and your upper body should be staying straight. So you shouldn't be like coming down like that, okay? So you have staggered feet, sink down, keep your body upright, come up, sink down, come up. Another thing you might want to look for is to make sure that your legs aren't caving. So make sure that your knee isn't caving in or caving out. Everything should be lined up to the wall in front of you. Everything should be nice and straight, okay? So you might have to, watch yourself if you've never done these, or it's really easy to not even be aware that your knee is moving. I had somebody in my program before tell me that every time they did lunges, their lower back hurt. That should not happen at all. So, and she had sent me the video, and it was hard to tell. And that's another thing. You can always send me a video of yourself if you cannot figure out what's happening. It was hard to tell in hers what was happening, but your lower back should never hurt from lunges. The only thing that could happen is if you have really tight hamstrings, or even your butt is really tight, it can pull on your lower back. So just stretch and try to do everything properly, and hopefully you'll have no problems. All right, pogo jump squat is a form of a jumping squat. So we have a little pogo jump before our squat. So our pogo jump looks like this: hop, hop, okay? And then we have our squat, which is gonna be down here somewhere. So with your squat, you wanna put the weight on the heels of your feet, not the balls. The heels of your feet, sink your butt down, try to keep your body upright. Again, similar, squat, lunging, all of that is similar. You never really wanna be way down here. You wanna be up. So you're gonna combine them. Hop, hop, squat. Hop, hop, squat. Hop, hop, squat. Hop, hop, squat, okay? If you're somebody who cannot jump, you can just hit body weight squats. Again, you always want to make sure where your feet pointing, where your knees pointing. You shouldn't be buckling in. If you go out, that's okay. You just don't want to go inward. And you can always use your chair. So anytime we're doing squatting, if you need to tap and go, that means you just hit the chair with your butt. When you tap it, stand up. Tap it, stand up. What that does is it controls your depth. So if you're somebody with knee problems, or you're really new at squatting and you don't know where to stop, it's gonna stop for you, okay? Or you can do a full sit, stand, full sit, stand. So there's nothing wrong with that. If you're somebody who finds that you have to use the chair a lot because of your knees or something, but you are strong in general, add weight. Just hold one dumbbell at your chest, stand and sit, or two on the side. Make it challenging in your own way if you can. And then we have calf raises. So I just talked about how I don't recommend doing it off of the floor. So So what calf raises are is it's targeting the back bottom of your leg, which is your calf. So to do that, you go up on your tippy toes, back down. Up on your tippy toes, back down. So yeah, you can feel it, like I can feel that now. But the ideal situation would be to go to a staircase, because what you want is you want your heel to get lower than ground level. So obviously if I'm on the ground and I go up, my heels stop here. What I ideally would like is if I'm on a stair, as I go up, my heel falls below. So see how my heel is below level, then I go up, then my heel falls below. So the point of that is you're getting a larger range of motion. So the more range of motion that you get, the more of that muscle you are working. You have to look at it as like a length, like my bicep or my calf is, from here to here. If I'm stopping at the floor, I might not be reaching that whole length of my calf. If I can extend below and all the way up, now I'm reaching more of my calf. So that's the same thing with any exercise that we do when I say like, full rep, or if we're doing bicep curls. If I only come to here and I don't get my full range of motion, I'm not working my full bicep. If I come all the way up, all the way down, now I'm using that full length of muscle. So that's what it's about. So it's not wrong if you do it on the floor. If you do have to do it on the floor, I'm gonna just shift this. I recommend going up against a wall. So like I actually have a ledge, that white thing is a ledge right here. So it's easy for me to hold on. So you can back up, and then when you go up and down, yes, technically my feet are still stopping at the floor, but because I'm on an angle, I'm still getting more range of motion than if I was standing upright. So that's another option. I'm just being lazy today and I really don't feel like rolling myself to the stairs, so I'm not going to. So if you have questions on that, which it's pretty self-explanatory, you can reach out. So you're gonna run through those for your rounds, and then we're gonna move on to part 2, which is mountain climbers. So again, I give you exactly how to program your timer. That's what's underneath. And I'm gonna show you mountain climbers. So I'll go simplest version to hard version. Okay, so your simplest version would be elevated and you're in your high plank position. So I talk about high plank position 500 million times in my videos because we use it so often. So high plank position is basically like you're about to start a push-up. So your shoulders, your elbows, and your wrists should be in a line. Your back should be neutral, meaning you're not piked up, you're not sunken down, you're right in the middle, and you're up on your toes. That is high plank position, okay? Your easiest mountain climber would be off of a height in high plank position. So I'm off of my chair and I'm just gonna raise up one leg, down, switch, down, switch, down. This is your easiest version of a mountain climber. If you have like shoulder issues, wrist issues, sometimes it's hard to do high plank position on the floor. So again, it could be a situation where you do have strength, but you have an injury or something. So you can still do it running from a height too. This is actually a really good exercise for your abs as opposed to being on the ground, because usually you can bring your knees up higher when you're like this than you can on the ground. So there's nothing wrong with this. Your typical mountain climber looks like this. Move over. You can also be in this position but step and tap. So anything on the ground, even if it's modified, is still harder than anything off of a height, because what you're looking at is the weight load on your body. So if your body is all on the ground, that's your max weight load. If something like, so if your upper body's lifted off the ground like a height with the chair, even if you're running off the chair, you're still not bearing as much weight as if you're down here tapping. Okay, so always think of it, ground is always the hardest, elevated is easier, okay? And I also have seen people do it like this, kneeling and tucking, which in my opinion would be the easiest option, even though you are weight bearing on the ground, only because you get to use half your leg, and you can't do, there's no like half leg option off of the chair. So however you can make it work, and that's Monday.